Hello everybody, this is part 7 of What If Deku Had All For One. Here we go. Oh. Nezu and Immortal are in the same office, in Nezu's office. And Nezu says, "It's been a while, since you were in Japan, hasn't it? What case were you on anyway?" Immortal says, "We were on that big quirk trafficking case. I believe it was based on quote-unquote villainous quirks. Personally speaking, I remember the times where governments around the globe called every person with a quirk a villain, but I know I am more old-fashioned." Nezu says, "You are one of the oldest men on this planet. There's no question about that." Immortal says, Hey. I still look good for 275. You're 276, to my knowledge." Immortal says, "Sometimes you don't need to mention how old I am. You don't. You don't need to." And Immortal says, "Besides the jabbing at my age every time, and to be completely honest with you, and I know I've already apologized for it." Nezu says, "You do not need to apologize for it. You've apologized literally 1,000 times. So you have literally helped me have rights similar to a human being. Actually, as many rights as human being. Even though, yes, you donated to the program that was reason the experiments. You weren't a part of the program or the scientists. But anyway, I believe you were here about All Might's being a teacher." And Immortal says, "Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, All Might doesn't have any form of teaching certification, teaching license, or anything of the sort." "No." "Okay. I'm just gonna say this. I will be... If you and me both know that you want me to still be a teacher here. I've been a teacher nearly as long as this school's been a thing, even plus that. And let's just say this. When All Might is teaching, I am going to be there. Because I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to be a dumbass and not do it correctly. Because I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to do something very stupid on his first day." And Nezu says, Nezu says, he says, "You always are skeptical about pro heroes nowadays." And Immortal says, "I'm going to be blunt. Let's just say this. There are many things that nowadays happen that back in the day would be appalling to see. For example, back in the day when I was a child, and you and me both, I've already told this story 100 times. You don't need me to explain it completely. But back in the day, being discriminated for even having a quirk, or back in the day what was called a meta ability, was pretty common. Stupidly common, actually. Not until about 200, no, 150 years ago, I'd say discrimination based on having a meta ability or quirk, or they're interchangeable, but personally I still go by meta ability because that's what I grew up on. But anyway, besides that, I've heard rumors that there is the child of a certain individual. Nezu says, do you have any information on that? And Immortal says, there are a few things that me, and all for one agreed on before we went on our ways. I went to heroics because the government at the time allowed me so. And, well, there's also, we both know one of the reasons why you allow me get this job pretty easily. Because I am a very big vote on the HPSC because of the fact that one of the first rules of the HPSC that says the oldest member of the HPSC in an HPSC meeting has prerogative to see and vote and have the capability to be controlling vote. Meaning the oldest person, me, because I would be the oldest person in the room no matter what. But I would be capable of changing decisions. But anyway, I presume I still have my old room and all that. Yeah, you'll be starting in the next year, in 2 months. Okay. Hey. Okay. So, I presume, who's the 1A and 1B teacher again? 1A is Razorhead, or as I was Shota. Really? Wow. He became a teacher? Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. Wait. Immortal looks down when he realizes something and says, it's gonna be funny and sad. But anyway, who else is staff of UA at this point, besides All Might? Cementos, 13, Snipe, Lunch Rush, I remember, President Mike. But I honestly wish, back in the day, I was there for that incident. I wish I went with my instincts instead of went on vacation that day. Because if I didn't go on vacation, we would probably have another great hero. Nezu says, it wasn't your fault. Oh, really? Really? When I was their homeroom teacher for that year, I was 1A's homeroom teacher during that time. And you do not expect me, when I literally have a student die from rubble, literally, I shouldn't feel bad about having one of my students die. Yeah, you're never gonna have me not regret not doing what I should have, because I knew that was above their pay. That was a lot above their pay grade as work-study students. I will always regret Shirakumo's death. I'll always regret Shirakumo's death. We could have had a great hero on the field, but he died as a work-study student. And Immortal leaves and says, "Sorry for yelling, Nezu." Nezu says, "You always have your opinion on that day. On that incident. It wasn't your fault. It couldn't have been." I'm going to head to my classroom and well, tell the big oaf that he's going to be basically under me when teaching, because I'm the one with the teaching license. And Immortal closes the door. And he goes to his history room, goes past Class 1A, and he's curious and opens the door and sees a yellow sleeping bag and sees no students and thinks to himself, "Oh yeah, of course." Hello, Shota, Aizawa Shota. And the sleeping bag jumps and hears, Mortal Sensei? Hey. Immortal chuckles to himself and says, "You became a teacher? Since when?" "Since a few years ago." Since a few years ago. Oh. I'm going to be teacher again, and of history. And Aizawa Shota stops Immortal from saying it and says, "Teach, Sensei. As much as you regret it every single day that for Shirakumo's death, you trusted us to have the skill and capability of being heroes." Immortal stops at Eraserhead, says, "As a bloody second year, you should not have been put in a life or death situation like that. Yeah, you should have been put on patrol, sure, but you should not have been in that situation in the first place." And also, when your student, you get your student list during the entrance, after the entrance exam, hand me the thing, because I'm going to approve the hero costumes, because not everyone wants to be a Midnight. And Immortal leaves. And Aizawa says, "He's always been protective of our students.